Hey, it's Taralee, the painter. I wanted to do a video of how I start a painting, and that usually starts with a trip. So tomorrow, I'm going to Tofino for some photos, and I'm hoping to get a lot of good trees, and also hopefully star photography, which is really difficult, but Tofino's very beautiful and doesn't have a lot of light pollution, so I'm very optimistic. So let's go. I'm parked too far away. So I'm on the ferry now and we're crossing the Georgia Strait. It's a very beautiful day, but it's quite windy on the boat. Whenever I'm on the ferry, I think to paint some of the land formations around with the ocean, but I imagine it would be very challenging. So I'm on the beach in Tofino, expecting a beautiful sky of stars, but it's actually quite foggy right now. And instead, it's some people with lanterns on the beach, and it's actually quite ghostly. I'm gonna try anyway with long exposures, and maybe I could get a weird effect. So here I am in the daytime at the beach that I was stumbling around in the dark yesterday. I just wanted to show the actual beach and why I'm excited to try to take pictures of it with stars. Had a bit of a breakthrough with the star photography. I'm very excited. I finally figured out to crank up the ISO on my camera, and suddenly now I'm seeing visible stars everywhere. So I went from a pretty dismal night of maybe not having anything to wanting to stay up all night to get these pictures. So I feel a little bit giddy about it, actually. Oh, I just saw a shooting star. Holy shit. This beach is amazing. And so now I'm moving into thinking, how can I make this even better? Now here I am at Tofino's Botanical Gardens. And last year we came here just for a garden walk, and then I found all these incredibly old, I guess you would call them beach cedar trees, because they're so old, they're sort of grayed out and very gnarly. And so I took pictures last year, and I had a lot of good paintings from it. And this is a garden collection, a botanical collection of plants, and I always found it funny that a garden could include something as big and unruly as a tree. So this is what I mean, that there's a garden tag on this incredibly old, tall cedar. And isn't it funny that that's part of the garden? The tree's probably older than the town, but it has a little label. There's something about these these trees that are close to the beach. They're very gnarly, and I'm sure it's from being broken a lot from high winds. It does get very stormy, and then the tree grows and heals itself, and then keeps on going, and then eventually it's this twisty, turny thing. This is the kind of light and the kind of lines that I get really excited about as a painter. And there's always little maple trees and little poplar trees all around. And it's hard to paint those big shapes around when you're trying to get something that looks tall, but and all these greens. This is amazing lighting for this right now. I also like pathway scenes like this. Something about, look, it could be a very, very old path. It could be from 10,000 years ago. And people are wanderers, especially in the forest. I finally made it to the rainforest path. I'm a bit windblown. I think I got too much sun today. But we're leaving tomorrow, and I definitely wanted to get some more pictures of this forest. And I've painted many paintings from this beautiful place. But I always think it's different when I come. There's so much of it. Of course, it's a bit of a hike for a tired lady. I'm going to be selective about the pictures I take. Every time I come here, there seems to be less trees because the old ones are falling down. These are trees. See, if you've seen my paintings, there's a painting called Forest Moss, and that's that tree right there. I'm recognizing it now. And this lighting is much different, so. Although you have to get an angle that works. I have my wide angle lens still. It's kind of strange how I was able to get a painting out of this. They're so grouped together. It looks kind of strange right now, like maybe they leaned over. See, with the highlights on the trunks, it's completely different. It's a different mood. Like Monet's paintings of the cathedral. That time of day changes everything. Yeah. There's almost crepuscular rays going on here. Now, if anyone's familiar with my work, wonder if they'll recognize this one. This is the 800-year-old tree. I don't think I'll paint it from these photos. There's no light on it. And I've painted it enough times. This is an old friend, this painting. This tree now, this tree is an old friend. I'd probably be very sad if one day it wasn't here. And it is alive. What was happening 800 years ago? And every ring is a record of the year it had, what kind of year it was. It's a bit damaged. An old cedar. I'd like to be like that, an old cedar tree. Although you'd have to watch your friends around you and your family around you fall. Very interesting canopy on it as well. It does look kind of good right now, actually. But there's a halo effect from all the leaves. I am gonna take some pictures of it, actually. Well, I'm a bit exhausted too right now. Speaking of old trees, I'm only gonna do one of the walks, one of the loops, because I'm tired. And I think I've gotten some worthwhile images out of it. And these will be the last of the tree photos for the Tofino trip. But there'll be more meteor shower tonight. And this is why I come here. Every 3 seconds there's a painting. I like being able to video this, though, because this is one of my favorite places in the world. My last night in Tofino, and the meteor shower continues. And luckily, I've had the advice of a very proficient photographer, and she suggested the settings I should be using. And then now I'm getting so much better. I'm getting photos of meteors shooting through the sky. I'm getting shooting stars in my photos. And I am overjoyed. So I can't wait to work from these. My Tofino trip has been really successful.